Today is August 4th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on Claves Online. I'm Joe Roderick. He's Matt Rocchio. We are brought to you by Munganat St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri. Rock, it's a doubleheader day, so we're coming to you between the two games. Cardinals take the first 4-3. A Lars Nootbaar walk-off single wins it for the Cardinals in game one. And you know what? It was a nice little comeback. And all things considered, once you get the win, you look back and it was a good game in the first one this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun one to watch too. When you get the back-to-back homers like that, and then Nootbaar, and there's the reaction from this team when they won that game, them having fun. Coming out of the break like this, I think that was really awesome to see. You heard on the broadcast them talking about how much Nootbaar is liked inside the locker room. Just a great little piece of hitting by him. Great job by the offense to stay in it. I was really just impressed, with the reaction and the emotion. Sometimes you kind of forget how important that factor can be when these guys are making millions and it's the dog days. But that was fun to see.
Yeah, Nolan Gorman with a home run, and we learned earlier today, Rock, on 101 that John Mozeliak told Nolan Gorman that he was not going to be traded this past weekend. We kind of figured that Gorman and Dylan Carlson were kind of the centerpieces of that Juan Soto deal, and you know what? Giving up one is one thing. Giving up both, I think, is where John Mozeliak had to stop and say, "Nope, this is too far." And you saw Dylan Carlson last night. You see Gorman today. These are two guys that are really going to be crucial down the stretch.
Yeah, and also just kind of showing you how unwilling John Mozeliak was to take that step when he described, how far they got into the Soto, sweepstakes and involvement. He described it as sometimes you can squint and you can kind of see how a deal's going to work out, and they never even got to that point. So I mean, and I think he said on Tuesday that they were pretty much out of it by Monday. It sounds like maybe by the time that they were flying out of Washington, they were pretty much out of it. If I had to guess.
Yeah, and Rammer and I talked about this, or I should say, Claves and I talked about this yesterday, and maybe Rammer and I talked about it on Tuesday. That the folks that look at this and see, oh, they wouldn't trade Dylan Carlson for Juan Soto. No, that's not it. Like, it's not. If it was Dylan Carlson for Juan Soto straight up, yes, Juan Soto would be wearing a Cardinal uniform today, but it was Dylan Carlson and 5 other guys that would have had to go there. And I think that's when you go, okay, you know what? We're not going to go that far into these discussions. So Cardinals now 2-0 since the trade deadline, as they win on Tuesday against the Cubs, rain out on Wednesday, and now we have another game tonight. In a game, Rock, you know what? I had to go look at the standings after they won, and I saw the heartbreaking loss to the Brewers. Didn't realize it was this close. The Cardinals could be tied for first place tonight after this game, as the Brewers lost to the Pirates in a wild pitch walk-off earlier today.
How incredible was it? How just immediate the Devin Williams the Devin Williams displeasure with the move, and the move of Josh Hader overall immediately comes back to bite them in the ass and in the standings right off the bat. One of the jokes I saw that I couldn't help but laugh at is someone saying, watch Mozeliak in August say, Josh Hader getting moved by the Brewers is kind of like making a trade, because they not only did they move Hader, and obviously I know they got some relief pitching to kind of back up that move, but everyone, Buster Olney said on ESPN, Greg Amsinger was saying it on MLB Network, the Brewers had to go out and get a bat as well to kind of seal up this division and keep the Cards from being able to kind of take over, and they didn't even do that either. So not only did they give away Hader, they didn't supplement what has been a moribund offense for the majority of the season. And so at this point, they've kind of laid down on the tracks and said, welcome to the Cardinals, just to take the division, which is, kind of indicative to where baseball is overall, but just overall disappointing when you think of how the last month or two of the, last month and a half of the season could have been in this NL Central battle. And I just think the Brewers are going to fade off.
Here is what the Cardinals are going to send up today as they look to tie the National League Central. It's Jose Quintana Day. He makes his Cardinal debut against lefty Sean Newcomb. for the Chicago Cubs. Dylan Carlson leads off in center field. Tommy Edman is batting second and playing second. Paul Goldschmidt is DHing today. Nolan Arenado at third. Albert Pujols gets the start at first base. Tyler O'Neill in left. Paul DeJong at short. Yadier Molina behind the plate. And Lars Nootbaar, the hero of Game 1, he is batting ninth and playing right field against the lefty. For the Cubs, Christopher Morel is in center. Wilson Contreras is DHing. Patrick Wisdom at third. Seiya Suzuki is in right. Nico Horner in left. Nelson Velasquez is in left. Frank Schwindel at first. PJ Higgins behind the plate. And Nick Madrigal is at second base. I really, you know what? I know that we're not going to see it all that much this year, but I really, really like seeing the Goldschmidt, Arenado, Pujols, O'Neill, those four stacked in a lineup that, against the lefty, that's going to cause some serious damage. You would hope in a game having those four all going out there facing a lefty. Those top six really in that lineup.
Yeah, I have to wonder if this would have been a righty if we would have seen O'Neill kind of come back just in the DH role instead of putting him out in the field and just kind of and kind of working him in this way. But obviously, when you have the lefty right there, you have Pujols, sliding in at first base or DH. Obviously, either way you want to do it. Obviously, you give Paul a little bit of a rest after Game 1, so it makes sense. I'm excited to see what O'Neill can do. I'm excited to see them beat the crap out of a lefty like this. I thought that's what they were going to get to do yesterday before the game got rained out, despite the fact that Steele's actually been pretty good the last month and a half or so. But nonetheless, I think we see the offense kind of explode and kind of beat up the Cubs tonight.
Yeah, I would think so. Getting a sweep against the Cubs, heading into a weekend series against the Yankees. It's again the win tonight is just going to propel them into first place. And you thought they were celebrating a lot in the walk-off today. It's going to be a fun clubhouse if they can work their way back and tie the Brewers, which just last week, they were 3 games out last week, and it just turned like that. So it was
That's what happens when you have the easiest schedule in baseball.
And that's, what, you have the easiest schedule in baseball, but you look at that, you have the Yankees coming up tomorrow.
Yep.
And then a huge series against the Brewers next weekend. So it is, and the stands will be packed both week. That's you are looking at 44,000 this weekend, and then next weekend not only is it the Brewers, but you're also celebrating the 1982 team. Again, you're looking at 44,000 in the stands for both these weekend series.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people getting up and down for standing ovations for Matt Carpenter.
which they will get to do tomorrow night, because the rainout has affected the rotation, and they've switched it up a little bit, and it's going to be Jordan Montgomery not starting till Saturday. So you would imagine against Dakota Hudson, Matt Carpenter will get the start tomorrow for the Yankees.
God, if he hits a home run.
You know what? If he hits a home run, that's fine. Just as long as you get the win.
It'll be fantastic. It'll honestly be fantastic if he hits one. There's little things I can hope for, like you said. I kind of hope he hits a home run as long as the Cardinals win the game. But it would be beautiful. I don't care about Aaron Judge and those guys going yard. Just give me a Matt Carpenter home run.
My hope, he gets more standing ovations than Joe Kelly got when he made his return to the Cardinals, or to Busch Stadium, but he flies out to the warning track in right field, and we all realize, oh yeah, it's Yankee Stadium. That's
Oh, stop it! You're perpetuating a lie. There's been like 1 or 2 home runs in the Yankee Stadium that wouldn't have been a home run in Busch. You're perpetuating a lie, sir. It's a narrative. This collar is a completely normal size.
Hey, big news out of baseball earlier today. Clayton Kershaw left his start with the Dodgers. More back issues for Clayton Kershaw. So the Dodgers, what did they do? Did they just go out and get Joey Gallo? Was that all they did at the trade deadline?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So
they're already like 18 deep on the bench. Like, they're already like they could pretty much play an A and B squad if they wanted to half the season. So it's not like they really needed that much more.
Yeah, well, Turner just went on the injured list, and now you get and now Clayton Kershaw leaves the game after throwing a couple warm-up pitches because of back issues. So it's when's the
NLCS start? Let's just that's when we got to grade out the health of the Dodgers lineup. Let's just be completely honest.
I'm just, hey, you know what? Padres go out and get Soto and Bell, and Dodgers now, Kershaw's hurt, Justin Turner's hurt. The 11 and a half games could disappear in a hurry.
Aren't you? You're raising a Padres fan, aren't you?
I not by choice, but that's. He's asked me twice now when I'm going to order him his City Connect Soto jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how happy was he about the Soto trade?
You know what? He stayed. I don't even know what time he went to bed last night because
Did he turn on?
stayed up
Let me
watching
guess.
that. He stayed up watching that game and the grand slam in the first inning. I feel like neighbors might have called the police, wondering what the noise was coming from our house.
How quickly did he go into the show, turn on forced trades, and then trade Soto to the Padres?
I don't think he knows that's possible yet.
Well, you
I
should
don't
tell
know
him.
if he's done that. He does know that they have the live lineups, and I don't know if he's
Okay.
played that or not yet. I'm gonna have to ask him if he has, just to see what Soto looks like in that lineup.
Well,
But
teach him about settings, forced trades on, and it'll change his life.
Hey, this has been another edition of Daily Cards Live, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganast St. Louis Acura. Munganast St. Louis Acura is, I was just out there the other day, earlier this week, out there on Manchester. And Claves and I were doing our show out there as well. Plenty of cars out there on the lot and in the showroom, including many of those beautiful MDXs that they have. Find it online at stlouisacura.com. He's Matt Rocchio. I'm Joe Roderick. We will be back with more tomorrow.
From our roots in St. Louis, Royal Banks of Missouri is branching out to continue serving you with our locations in St. Charles, Jerseyville, Granite City, and now in Hannibal, Center, and New London. Royal Banks of Missouri, the community bank in your community.